What are the advantages of having partnerships and collaborations in a grant application? In this video, we're going to cover three of the ones that are most impactful and important to, one, consider on your end, and two, to think about them being considered on the grantor's end, those that are reviewing your application. I'm Benjamin Dean from grantgetting.com. I hope you enjoy this video and others on this channel, which are aimed at helping you get more grants. Here's number one: scaling your project through partnerships. Okay, you know what you're doing, you know what you want to do, you know the direction that you're going. Hopefully, your guidelines are your vision and your mission and your, call them program pillars, how you build what it is that you're building, your integrity of your organization. So scaling has to do with the scope of the business, the operations, the activities, the outputs, the outcomes. That's sort of scope. Scale also has to do with well, I'll also use the word scale in terms of size. Okay, how much, how many, the counting aspects of it. So then the question is, if I want to increase the scope or scale of an organization's impact or a program, project, or initiative's impact, can I do that with a partner? With somebody who doesn't just sort of operate over there. I know where their office is. They know where mine is. We talk. We see each other at networking events. We kind of get the same funding. We're in the same space. That sort of thing, right? That's not a partnership. That is, at best, you're cooperating together, right? You're playing nice together in the same sandbox, but you're not necessarily building the same sand castle, right? You're just on opposite sides of the sandbox, or you're in adjacent sandboxes, right? When you think about a partnership, you think about somebody who's kind of going to come into your organization. You're going to kind of come into their organization. You're going to get to know each other. You're going to get to see what's going on behind the scenes. Okay, so if the answer to that question, can I increase the scope or scale with working with another organization in that way, is yes, that's good. That is good because you have set up your program that it's an open-ended puzzle, right? If you think about, you have finished a puzzle and the perimeter is all just sides and corners, there's no way for another organization to plug in. It's not iterative. It's not adaptable. It is rigid. It is stationary. Okay, so this gets into sort of program management, but if you set your program up such that you can change and adapt it, which you should be, then you're going to see more opportunities to work with others, and that will increase how much funding you are able to receive to do your work. Okay, so you look at your organization. Yeah, there's a way for this other organization to plug in and us to work together, right? So let's sit down and let's figure it out. This is the number one advantage of partnerships, is that it's going to increase the scope, it's going to increase the scale, and or you could say increase the efficiency of the work of both organizations. If your nonprofit focuses on education, partnering with an organization skilled in training can enhance your program's effectiveness, right? An issue that I commonly see happen sometimes between larger entities and somewhat more grassroots entities, smaller entities, is there's a degree of access to particular populations and a degree of skill set asymmetry. So as to say, a larger organization may be well equipped with particular skill sets or resources that they've acquired, but a smaller organization may have gained the trust of an underserved community. They don't have the resources, they don't have the skills, they've been scrapping it together, but they've got this trust, right? By combining forces, this project of serving an underserved community, which is relatively inaccessible, excuse me, by a larger organization, can be enhanced. And all of a sudden, you as a smaller organization, you have access to these resources where you're furthering your mission. You might not be the one actually delivering all of the project outputs, but who cares? Who cares? Your job is not to be the one that does everything. Your job is to further your mission, right? So this is number one, scaling, increase in scope, efficiency, effectiveness through partnerships. That's the first thing that you want to think about and should be the first thing, if not the only thing, that is highlighted as to why in a grant application, your two organizations have decided to come together. Mr. Mrs. Grantor, we are submitting a joint application because both of our organizations have demonstrated success in X, Y, and Z, and by coming together, we will be able to increase the efficiency and effectiveness of both of our programs serving this community. Oh, yes, that is what a grantor wants to see. Okay? Number two reason for you to think about it and for you to think about the grantor looking at this application, filling gaps in experience or resources. No single organization can have all of the skills or resources necessary for every project, which is where partnerships prove invaluable. Collaborating with others allows you to fill gaps in knowledge or resources. Okay, so for example, if your nonprofit is focused on let's say environmental conservation, but lacks technical data skills, sort of analysis skills, partnering with a tech organization can bridge that gap. Okay, so this might be an organization that actually doesn't have a stated interest anything close to what your mission is, but they have a skill, and vice versa, right? Your mission might be very different from even a for-profit tech company, but let's say a nonprofit that has tech skills. By working together, you can provide something for them, which is education and expertise on direct service, perhaps, and they can provide for you education and expertise on technical things, people and things, right? This is very similar to how you've heard that people sometimes lean either towards being people or thing people, care about things. Well, organizations are group personalities, right? Over time, in many cases, you will find that same dichotomy. And this is a very common thing in terms of looking to build skill gaps. So another direction that funders are going and have been going, but will continue to, is looking at capacity building grants. Okay. Now, capacity building grants can be infrastructural. So investing in equipment that will last much longer than the grant term, right? But on the other side of it, it's investing in education and knowledge. So if you find a capacity building grant opportunity and you have a partner that can provide you with increased capacity in terms of knowledge and skills, that is something that grantor is not going to see often. And if you can really flesh that out, what are the skills that you're going to learn and that other organization is going to learn, and how will that increase efficiency, increase effectiveness, all the same things, increase scope, increase scale over time, not just in one grant term. That's capacity building. It's especially capacity building if you articulate how you're going to institutionalize that knowledge. Okay, so that's filling gaps in experiences, and of course, resources is the same thing, and probably easier to understand. Number three, partnering demonstrates community support. So I'm a funder. I want to fund a project that's going to be impactful. One of the questions in the application that I've created is sustainability. How are you going to continue to fund this project after our money is gone? Very common question that there are videos on this channel, will be videos on this channel around that particular question. Well, one of the things that you will be able to talk to in that question and will be able to be referenced in that question in other sections is if you are in partnership with another organization. Okay. I'm a funder. I want assurance that your project has strong support from the community, from key stakeholders, such that we're not going to dump our money in something and it's going to be a one and done situation. Okay. We don't want to be the only funder. We don't want to be perceived as liable for your funding of this important thing that you're articulating, you're doing in your community. For the most part, there's exceptions to that, but for the most part, funders don't want that. They want to see that you have support from others. So you're going to get letters of support. You're going to find matching grants or matching funding. You're going to be able to show the in-kind support you have. All these other things that you're doing as a grant writer to show that this is very well supported. But a partnership is the analogy of holding one stick and trying to break it and holding three sticks and trying to break it. It's harder to break something when you stand together with another organization, given that that organization is as solid as you are. Okay? This kind of endorsement is powerful. It's implied and it's explicit. Implied throughout, explicit in the particular sustainability or community support section, because it shows that your project is not only well conceived, but it is aligned with the interests of the community that you serve. It gives you so much more ammunition in terms of being able to speak to things all over the application, not just in the partnership section or the sustainability section, but all over. But that sustainability section is very important. That budget section is very important. Being able to show support in the budget in terms of pooled in-kind resources, more bonus points. It's just gives you so much more opportunity to strengthen an application. And it's a skill that has to be developed at some point. So these are 3 advantages here. Check out the free guide. It's got 7 additional advantages, tips, strengthening your grant application with strategic partnerships. Check out those insights. In the comments, if you have any challenges in building these relationships or developing these applications, pop them down there, and I'd love to answer any questions. So thank you for jumping in to this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.